Okay, so we have deployed our protection group, and I'm just going to go through and start a copyback. Now, to do a copyback, we pick our running instances out of Azure, and I'm going to choose my VMware, local VMware data center to bring it back to my host, and particular data store for the disk, and then finally the network. And what this is going to do, start copyback. What this does now is it will take that running instance from the point in time that we actually start the copyback and simply grab it and download it into my VMware environment, and that'll give me an instance that's exactly the same as what was running in my Azure environment. So in the case of you do have a disaster event, or you have an event where you fail over into your Azure environment, the way to get your data back is you simply do a copy back, and it'll bring back the VM as it was in Azure with all the updated data inside it. Now, this can take a few moments to do. The copy back process is of course subject to the speed of your network into the Azure environment. We've got a few things happening in our office here at the moment, so I've sped up this next few steps quite a bit. So this is a relatively short video. It's mainly because I've sped up the whole process as it goes through. And for your reference, the actual time it took for the full copy back to complete should be only about half an hour to 45 minutes in this case, because it's a relatively small environment. So what's actually happening in the background here is if I browse over to my VMware environment, to the vSphere server, what you'll see happening is I will actually create a placeholder of a virtual machine. And I just need to scroll down and find that. There it is, that's the one. So we can see we created a virtual machine named Boomerang Copyback in progress, and that's basically just marking the space for that virtual machine to exist in, and gives us also the disk that we can actually write to. So that will go on, and when the actual replication is complete, when the replication actually does complete of that virtual machine, you'll see it actually be renamed to the original name, which will be the Boomerang Win2K small. If there's a clash for the name, we will actually ensure we put just a modifier on the end so we don't get two VMs that are named the same on that. So that copyback's just going to continue. Of course, I've sped up these next few bits here, so you'll see that progress bar just keep on clocking along there. So the next bit that we look at during the copyback is what's actually going on in the Azure environment. So let me just go across to the Azure panel there. Yep, okay. And if I go across to my virtual machines that I've got running, what you'll note is I'm just checking the configuration here. This one. Okay, so if I go to my virtual machines, you'll see there's a new virtual machine running, which is the Copyback machine, and this is a what we call basically it's a maintenance or a worker instance, which is actually doing the copyback for us, right? Because all the disks are just VHDs located in storage, that means we can actually mount the storage of that remote of the machine we're trying to copy back, mount a snapshot of that into our worker instance, and pull that data down. Alright, so flicking back to our monitoring the copy back there, yeah, you can see it's just going on. Again, that's just going to take a few minutes to go over and complete. I've just sped up those things there. Alright, so we are pretty much done. Okay, so that one took just under an hour to complete. Now, if we look for the virtual machine that got created, I'll just reconnect to my vSphere environment. Looks like it's just my session has expired. Alright, so looking at a vSphere environment, scroll in, you can see the rename in the task there. There's my new virtual machine that I've just copied back from Azure. I'm going to power that on. Let's jump onto the console of it so we can see it actually booting up. And you'll see it boot up as normal. Once we get to a login prompt, I can actually go through and start just doing a standard login. Okay, let's log into that one. And you can see it logs in just fine and everything starts up as you expected. So that's a copyback of a running instance from Azure directly down onto my vSphere environment. So that was an instance that we did import from the same vSphere environment. However, there's no limitation to that. If it's running a standard Windows VM, we can also just do that's been launched from Azure. We can actually copy that down as well. So that's Copyback from Azure.